Welcome to Viben Now, a collection of guided meditations put into podcast form for your easy listening. My name is Vivian Gerard, and I will be walking with you through the intoxicating now moments of life here on this planet. These audios are intended to be used as a full meditation if you want to close your eyes, settle down into a comfy spot, and let your subconscious come all the way forward. Or it can simply be some background conversation where the nuggets of information that you most need will make their way into your awareness. Whichever way it works for you, I invite you to open up and enjoy fully this journey of life that we are all taking together. So much love to you. Good morning and welcome to Soul Shine. It is Sunday, October 23rd. We are almost at the end of this month of what astrologer said would be the month of relationships, and I am feeling the month of relationships. So it will be interesting to see where this takes us today. All right, let us begin. Go ahead and land wherever you are in this moment. So if you're sitting, settle into your chair. Let yourself lean further back. Feel your feet on the floor. Yeah, and then notice your breath, just like we always begin with breath. If you're laying down, imagine you can just start to relax the muscles. Feel your feet, every part of you that's connected to the earth, just settle in and allow yourself to be fully here. And then as you pay attention to your breath, go ahead and feel the rhythm, the pace that is natural for you as you just let your breath come in and go out. Everyone has their own rhythm. You can really tell when you're running with other people or in a race, everyone has their own pace and rhythm that breath moves through them. So pay attention to yours right now and trust. It may be slower than mine. It may be faster. It's not about racing. It's just knowing what your rhythm is and then allowing your body to come into harmony with that. And as you do the exhale, long and slow out of your mouth, and then visualize like a pressure pump, as you exhale long, slow, and out, you're bringing your energy down and in. So the energy is being pulled in by the breath that is trying to move all the way down and out. Yeah. Go ahead and breathe in. And then long, slow, and out. Good. And then allow your body to start to pull more of your energy in. So feel how when we arrive here and we carve out this hour for ourselves, there are so many distractions or things that need our attention. And it's easy for us to stay partly on those things when what your body, what your soul is craving is like an absolute break from everything else so that you can just have time for you. For many of us, we give all week long. We're taking care of people that we're managing, people in our family, animals, assignments, food preparation. There's so much that we're doing all day that's energy out. And creating this hour for yourself each week, and then hopefully other hours during the week too, but at least this 1 hour, it's okay to be selfish and to say, I'm calling all of my attention and energy fully here, fully 100% present just for me. Because when I do that, when I'm fierce about that time and space being mine, I can fill myself back up. I can connect back in with the deepest part of me that gets ignored when I'm giving to others and running for others. And so this hour becomes a sacred tuning in to who you are. Yes, with guidance, yes, in community, but it's your process, it's your voice that you're going to hear. It's your energy and attention that goes, oh, my space, right? Let's reconnect back in with me. And so in this moment, start to be fierce about it. You know, there are always going to be people that we're attached to, always relationships that are important to us, or projects that our attention is on that feel so important, so significant. You know, how could we possibly let them go for an hour? And my invitation to you is be fierce about calling all of your energy back right now. Just for the hour, fill yourself up, and you will be 1,000 times better for all those other people and places and things that need your attention after the call. So imagine you can get prickly about it, or passionate. You know, we get so passionate about things on other people's behalf or causes we do for others. Consider yourself to be the primary cause in this moment and be passionate. Imagine you can just send out this powerful radar to every drop of your energy that has been busy all week long, doing, taking care of, organizing, scheduling, running, whatever it is you've been doing. Imagine all of those parts of your energy that have been out fiercely can be called back in, all the way back into the center of your body. And you can give those energies a color, a texture, a fluidity, if that's the right word, so that you can see them, you can visualize the pieces of the energy coming back into you. You can give it some sort of form so that as it arrives in, there's a tangible knowing, my energy is now back. I am arriving so fully present in this moment that everyone around me is going to be better served because of the space I'm creating for myself. So be fierce. Call back all of your energy. And you can track how far you're getting in that progress, how much of your energy and attention is in, by just asking to see or feel a percentage. You know, maybe you're 60% present. Maybe you're 80% present. Get more fierce. Get more passionate. Call 90% back of you here. Allow yourself to feel your power. Right? The fullness of who you are as a soul, the soul that came to be in this human body that you walk around in all day long. Let yourself fill fully back up with energy, with soul, with attention. If it feels too tight in your chest, send the energy all the way down your legs to your feet and let your toes feel filled up. Every time I do that, I'm always like, more room, because it gets really congested when I pull a lot of attention back into my chest. You can run energy down your arms, down your shoulders and your arms, all the way out to your fingers. Feel your fingernails right now filled up with you. There is energy that is you in every single cell in your body, so that would include the tips of your fingernails. Right, every piece of your hair. And then do one more call back. So you can imagine sending out a signal, some sort of alarm or a honing beacon to any part of you that has not yet arrived and is ready to. And you just gently call all of that back in, and then allow yourself a moment to feel. Feel the difference in this feeling in your body, this understanding of presence, compared to when you first arrived on the call. My hope is there's a shift for you. For me, it feels, I always like the word vibration because I think of how like a tuning fork vibrates or a violin string vibrates. You know, when there is, what is the right word? Like sounds have a vibration that your eardrum moves to, you know, and energy has that same vibration that I feel when it's called back in. So what I notice for my body is that same sort of, vibrato, is that how you would say it? It sounds like the Italian word. You know, there's it's like if you're looking at a violin string and you can see it rippling a little bit because of the pull that was just made against it. It's like that. There's like ripples that move through my body that feel like energy in motion, energy that has been awakened, energy that is pulsing, and it has a sense of movement in it. So see if you can feel that in your own body. And sometimes because it's new to us, when you feel it, you might want to squish it down or stop the vibration or check out a little bit because it feels different. What I find more useful is, what if you learn to manage that moving energy in your body? What if you become the maestro of your own violin that vibrates through you? So the ways to play with that, you know, as you feel the energy movement or pulsing in your body, as you feel it become more intense, the more you do this, the more you practice this, the more you'll feel it. And then the more energy that arrives in you, the more powerful that pulse becomes because you're present, you're feeling it, you're allowing yourself to be fully here. So what you can do as that energy becomes more familiar to you is play with directing energy, play with moving it consciously through your body instead of it just automatically doing whatever the old patterns are that it's been doing your whole life or for the last year or the last week. So in this moment, if you feel like, yeah, there's a buzz in my body, play with it a little bit. So imagine you can send all of the energy, the intensity of this buzz, down to your feet. So if it feels like it's sort of pulsing in all sort of crazy directions and there's, you know, some going sideways and some going down and it feels like the inside of your body has little fizzles or bubbles moving all over, you can use your mind, your attention to say, let's give the energy a sense of flow. So we're going to flow energy from the tops of our heads all the way down through our body to the bottoms of our feet. Don't let it go out. Keep it in your feet. And then we're gently going to let it wash through our feet and then come back up. So can I feel energy coming back up through my body, through my legs? It'll feel almost like a wave, like when you're standing in the ocean and the wave goes out and the wave comes in. And you don't move, it's just the wave is moving. So see if you can feel energy coming all the way up through your body, waving up through into your head. And it starts to get calmer and gentler. So it isn't that electric buzz that you can't control. It's like, oh, okay, energy is now going to flow up through my head. And it's just going to crest through the top of my crown, and it's going to wash gently all the way back down through my body. So it's going to come back down through my head and my neck. Gently wave all the way down through my chest, into my legs, down to my feet. And if I'm going too fast, just go a little slower. If I'm going too slow, go a little faster. And then you can just wash the energy all the way back up again. So now it's gently going to wave all the way back up through your body. Yeah, so what you may be feeling by now is it's actually a little more intense because it has such focused movement through your body. So just follow the path. Create the visual by seeing it in your head first. So where do you want the energy to go next? Do you want it to go all the way back down again? Visualize it as a moving fluid form, going all the way back down through your body, hitting the bottoms of your feet, staying inside you. And then relax your body this time. Relax all the muscles, and then allow the energy to just move on its own. So it's coming back up all the way to the top of your crown. Use your breath if it feels intense. And then just wash it back down again. So this is a way to, and you can keep playing while I'm talking, this is a way to feel the difference between energy that's in your body but without any sort of guidance versus energy that you've called back in and you've harnessed the power of it. You've started to flow with the energy. You've given it a pathway in which it can move through your body and feel harmonious. That's actually the word of today, harmony. It's like harmony within your own body, right? Flowing with your energy, being in alignment instead of resisting it or trying to force it. And you can play with this in all different ways. You can visualize bringing it to a really still point, perhaps right in your heart. So you're not bringing all of your energy there. You're just bringing attention to, like taking a pause, but visualizing that your heart center is just pulsing with the beauty of all of this energy in your body. And notice how you tune into your heartbeat, but you feel it this time. It's like your whole body is pulsing with the rhythm of your breathing. And then you can send energy out your arms, and you can feel like the strength of your physical body all the way out to your hands, how your hands could hold anyone, could comfort anyone, could, create powerfully, could draw. You start to sense that when energy is harnessed, it's really an unstoppable force, especially when it's your own energy in you. Good. Good. And if you checked out for any part of that, no worries. Come back and listen to it later and play. The more that you allow yourself time and space and allow yourself to feel or sense the power that is you inside your body, the more you work with it, flow with it, become a creator of that energy, and then mountains will move, stars will be drawn. Like, it is amazing to witness. All right, let's keep going with our regular steps. So we're going to go back down to your feet. So imagine you can bring energy all the way to the bottoms of your feet again. And this time, perhaps allow any stuck energy, anything that feels like heavy or blocked or slower, darker, anything in your system that doesn't feel super great. Imagine that gets a heavier quality, and it can go to the bottom of your feet. And then it's a choice. So as you put your feet on the surface of the floor, wherever you are, if you're outside walking or on the ground, you can just hook right into the earth. Go ahead and imagine opening up the bottoms of your feet and then visualizing some sort of connection down to the earth. So for me, it's usually roots, but you could use channels of light. You could use cords. You could imagine step ladders, whatever, some sort of way of energy having a path to flow down into Mama Earth. And then you get to choose if you want to release stuck energy or heavy energy. So, for example, I feel right now, like right underneath my right knee and to the left side, there's like a cramp that's happening, which wasn't there before this call. So I can feel, right, like the right knee is about pride and ego for the masculine, the doing, the activity. So I can feel that in my knee, and then I can give that energy or block a form. So I'm going to imagine it as like black tar, and I'm going to send it all the way down through my calves to my feet. And then you just release. You just go, right? You can use breath. You can visualize it as a color. And I just send that energy down into the earth. And then I can feel, okay, my knee feels better. There's a whoosh of energy. There's like a sliding of momentum that goes down into the earth. And then you can just choose to let it go. So scan your body as I'm saying this and feel, are there some stuck places? Are there some heavier spots? Almost if you were looking at an X-ray and you can see energy that is out of alignment or energy that is stale perhaps, that hasn't moved in a while, where there might be some story around it or some old belief. You can visualize scanning your body like an X-ray. And wherever there's that sort of stuck, icky feeling in the X-ray, you just breathe into that spot, right? Like a big gust of wind that moves through a tree that's ready to shake its leaves loose. You see that gust of wind hit the tree, and then there's raining leaves. The leaves are falling down. You can do that inside your own physical body because it's your body, it's your energy, it's your process. I can't breathe it for you, but you can sense where it is and then just go right into that spot with a big gust of wind. And you can imagine the stuck energy can start to move if you want it to. And then again, you practice playing with direction, with momentum. So instead of blowing that stuck place loose and then letting it float around like a blood clot that doesn't know where to go, you send that as a release down to the feet. You give it a direction, down to the feet. And then you just allow at the feet that stuck energy to move down into the earth. And you might feel pressure on the lower half of your body as you're doing this. It's confirmation or validation that, yes, energy is going down. So consider that to be a gold star, a thumbs up, a high five, right? If you're feeling that like heaviness, it's good. It means energy is being pulled or tugged to the lowest possible place. And then you just get to choose to allow it to move out of your physical and into the energetic of the earth, where it can just be released, purified, and recycled. You don't even need to know what happens to it, because that's what the earth does for us, right? She just partners and she takes our shit and she does something beautiful with it, just like in recycling. So you can allow yourself to just let it go. One more scan from the top of your head. Just scan your body, almost like you're looking at it in an X-ray form. Notice any stuck, blocked places. You can even let yourself be surprised by where there's stuck energy. It might be the back piece of your left ear or the top piece of your hair on the top of your head. Like, who knows where there's stuck energy? Just notice it and then give it a direction down. And allow it to move all the way to your feet. And then down and out into the earth. And what you might notice at this point is how quiet your mind has become. How quiet the world becomes. It's almost like that first snowfall when you
step outside the door and normally you can hear traffic or animals or just noise. That first snowfall when you step outside and the entire world is just quiet. It's the word hush is what I always feel that first time. Like there's just this gentle hush that quiets everything down. When you navigate with energy in this way, when you feel yourself fully present and you move the blocks out and down and release them, you're working with your entire system, your body, mind, spirit. And so the mind gets to go, oh, I get a break for a second. I don't have to think right now. I can just be. And sometimes that lasts for a second or two. Sometimes it can last for the rest of the meditation. So just allow yourself to feel the calmness that you've created in your own space. I might be able to guide you, but it's your choice. So you have created this cocoon. Good job. All right, bring your attention to your feet again and let's feel the roots or the light cords or whatever channels you've created down. Imagine you can sense that with this releasing you've been doing, there's a pathway now that goes from your feet deep into the earth, as deep as you would like. Feet, miles, lots of miles, whatever feels right to you. Go ahead and feel how those connections to the earth are multiplying and going sideways as well as going down. So you might sense a pulsing at the bottom of your feet, or it's not quite a pulsing, it's almost a tugging down that I feel. Notice what it is for you. And then allow it to get stronger. So allow yourself to feel how the density of the earth that you're connecting into is so solid. It's not sinking sand. It is solid, hard, firm earth that you can build houses and skyscrapers on. There's a density to it of matter that allows us to walk around on the surface of this earth. So feel how your energetic roots are so powerful they can move through that density and go deeper. And then allow the density to support you. Allow the density to give you more strength on which to stand. So it's an interesting play of energy out of you into the earth and also energy from the earth up into you. It's a mutual flow. It's a give and a take. Even that's not quite right. It's not really a give and a take. It's like the infinity symbol, except it's underneath the earth, right? The more that you trust that the earth is going to receive your junk and do something purifying with it, the more you trust that the earth is always going to purify and send energy back up into you. So it becomes symbiosis, is that the scientific word? Where one supports the life of the other. The more that we trust the earth and know that she is always going to be underneath us and supporting us and providing for us and bringing us food and water and light and energy, the more that we trust she can hold us in all of that, the more she is able to send us that energy and we can receive it. Yeah, it's not a give and a take. It's a giving and a receiving. And then a receiving and a giving. It's this beautiful flow of energy from us to the earth, from the earth to us. And sometimes it happens in the exact same moment. And sometimes it's spread out over time. Or it's not balanced, I feel this way often. I'm like, oh God, I give so much of my junk to the earth every meditation, every day. After client calls, I'm handing energy to the earth, and then taking from the earth support. So just trust that the flow doesn't have to be balanced in every moment. It just needs to be flow. It needs to go, move, have direction in which to go. And so you get to guide that energy down and out, energy coming up and in. And there's no limit or person that's monitoring how much of each you're using. It's just moving, flowing, momentum. So allow yourself in this moment, if you want, to feel a surge of energy, almost like when a power grid, my son and I watched this show called Flash, and the whole premise is that there was some supernova event where power grid had an incredible surge of energy, and it opened a portal and created all these crazy, amazing things. Imagine like your body at the bottoms of your feet can feel a gentle power surge of energy from the earth. And so it might feel like a tickle, it might feel like a whoosh, it might feel like, oh God, if I open my feet, I might get flooded with energy. Trust that you can handle whatever the earth is going to send you in this moment. And allow yourself to be surprised and delighted by how playful and beautiful that surge of energy might feel in your body. So you're going to bring in energy. We're not handing it out in this moment. We're allowing you to receive in. So feel it coming in the bottoms of your feet, a surge of purified energy from the earth into you, running like a current all the way up your legs. And you can suck it in, right, in through your first chakra, all the way up through your chakra system and your organs, coming up into your crown of your chakra, and then washing down outside over the top of you and outside. And this to me always feels like a wave from the ocean, like when you're standing in the bright sunlight and it's warm and you're in a warm ocean with clear blue water and everything could not be more perfect, and then there's just this wash of salt water that comes down around the outside of your body. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty cool. Good. All right, so feel your feet on the floor. You can allow yourself to keep receiving energy while we're talking, or you can feel the bottoms of your feet and just feel filled up, satisfied. Good, and let's bring our attention to source. So I think we're going to stay with the water theme for a moment. Yeah, what would I say about that? It's interesting because sometimes I feel that source and earth are separate. Earth is underneath, source is above, and they both stay in their separate areas. They're not the same, and they have different roles. But when I'm at the ocean, especially, well, in my pool too, my bathtub, really water in general, I get this feeling that, we'll use the ocean example. When I stand at the edge of the ocean and I just see the expanse of water and the rhythm that never ends, of the waves coming in and going out and coming in and going out, especially in the sunrise or the sunset times when you also see the sun playing with the ocean. There's this infinity symbol again, this eternal rhythm that has always been on this planet and will always be on this planet no matter what humans do. There is a heartbeat, a pulse that is most tangible to me when I'm at the edge of the ocean. Some people find it in forests, when they're walking with the trees. I think they feel like the trees are breathing and pulsing, and they are more at one in that space than anywhere else. For me, it's water and ocean. So pick the one that feels more true to you. And then pause for a moment and see, can you feel what that pulse is? And you may have to tune into your own heartbeat to find that pulse. So you may want to even put your hand on your heart if that's possible with where you're situated. Yeah, so what you may notice is, this is what I'm feeling. It's like, well, it's just me. How do I feel the pulse of everything, of source, of the planet, of water? How am I in alignment when I'm just me sitting here and there's this huge expanse of all, of everything? You come from that. You are that. You will go back to that. So whether you believe it fully or not, trust me, you have the same pulse somewhere inside, the same natural rhythm that aligns with the earth. You may hear it in a different way than others. Your pace of living may have you going at a different rate than others, but we all come from that original first breath. We all have the matching vibration to that beat inside of ourselves. So you can imagine, if you'd like, whether you're standing at the ocean or in the forest, you can close your eyes in that space, and then you can just feel. You can feel the pulse. When I'm at the ocean, I like to feel the wind that is moving. Usually there's a breeze by the ocean. And if I get really still and I have my feet in the sand and I can feel the water and the coming and going of the waves at my feet, and I can feel the wind moving, it's easier to feel myself melt into all of that and feel the connection of everything, right? The sunlight, the wind, the water, the earth. There's a way at the ocean where I can become all of that in one moment. For you, it might be, the moisture in the tree area. If you're deep in the forest, there's a moisture, a mist. The stillness of the wind, the solidness, dampness of the earth. You might just get little peaks of the sunlight. But allow yourself to sense the harmony, the natural rhythm of yourself in flow with all of that, in connection with all of that. And then see where you sense source. So for you, source may be the wind, or source may be the sun. Maybe source is one with the earth. For me, it's this beautiful mix of all of it. And the magic happens at the ocean because I can, maybe it feels like where all of them meet. The beach, the ocean, the sun, the, wind, it's all in one place. But feel how you can connect with your own version of source or God or creator. Yeah, and there may be something to know in this moment. There may be nothing to know, but something really beautiful to feel or to heal deep inside of you. Yeah, this actually makes me want to cry a little bit. This is the sacred moment of why you pause your week to tune in. It's to find this harmony that's inside of you, where you are one with your own God, your own source. You are fully connected, fully in alignment. And when we're busy all week long, we forget this part of life. If we're lucky, we don't forget, but for many of us, we forget. if you'd like, you can see how it feels to expand that sense of being one. So, for example, for me, I'm sitting here in my chair and I can feel like in the tight space of my physical body, yes, I can sense that I am one with my God. But if I allow myself to take up a little more room, to stretch my energy a little bigger than my body. So as I do that, I notice I'm like opening my rib cage and my shoulder blades up a little wider. I'm sitting up just a little straighter. My chin came up more parallel to the floor, where before it was kind of hunched into my chest. My muscles are like relaxing but also expanding and opening wider. My jawbone relaxed. My stomach muscles unclenched. You can feel how you stop trying to grip or hold it, and you become more expansive. You become a greater one. I was watching a video this past week, and this brilliant man said something. No, it was in a movie I watched last week, sorry. This woman said, 1 + 1 is not 2. And for so many of, us in lifetimes, we have believed that it's limited. 1 + 1 = 2. And she says 1 + 1, you create a third entity. Something new gets formed. In this moment, feel the possibility of that when you, whole and complete and present, connect with your source, your God, whole and complete and all-knowing, all-powerful. Something new gets formed from that, something that didn't exist before you showed up on this call to have this moment with yourself. There's a new potential that arrives that wasn't here before. And if you had missed this time and space for yourself, that new potential wouldn't have been felt right now in the same way at some other time. This right now here could only have been experienced right now here in the way you have created it. And so you could judge yourself and go, oh, that's a bad thing, because what if I miss those other times? Or you could go, hallelujah to me, because I'm here and I created something really cool and I feel solid. I feel love. I feel powerful in a way of wanting to give and serve and create more, not in a manipulative or domination over others, but in a flow and alignment, the perfection of this moment. Yeah, so let yourself find a balance point that feels comfortable. If you stretched out really wide and it feels a little like, oh, I'm checking out, or I don't quite know what we're even talking about, or what just happened, bring your energy back in a little bit so you feel more dense, more solid. And then come back to this again. Practice or play with this in your meditation time. Let me feel my own connection to me, to Source, and then let me see if I can expand that energy a little wider outside of my physical body. Because the more that I practice expanding my presence, expanding my edges, expanding my capacity to love and to flow energy, the faster, it's true, the faster you move, but that's not quite the reason for doing it. To me, it's more, the more energized the flow is in you of life force, of love, of expansion. That makes you move faster, but it's about achieving, gosh, there's no, the words are so limiting. It's not about achieving anything. It's about harmonizing yourself with God, with Source. And the flow picks up momentum because the harmony feels so incredible. And when you trust the flow and the harmony and it takes you down a certain way and then magical things start to happen, you keep coming back more and more to that flow and that harmony because you want more magical things to happen. And then suddenly your life is moving so quickly, but in the most harmonious way, the most beautiful way, the most expansive way. And then love just starts multiplying. Yeah, I'm going to jump right into the topic because we're already talking about it. The topic is harmony. It's harmony in relationships. And I was feeling that this morning in my own meditation. Two situations I want to refer to. So one is Guru Ganesha. I interviewed him this week, and I have felt for myself for the past couple of years this fear of being too bright, too clear, too loving, too nice, too kind, too shiny, because so many people in the media, when we see them get that stage or that reach, things get thrown at them, people get mean, things become harsh, and then those people either are tarnished and they don't look as shiny anymore, or they retreat and they disappear, or they get grumpy and mean and the shininess isn't as pretty. For me, watching from the outside, looking at a lot of celebrities and people I've respected and admired, it just looks not worth it. Why go through all of that visibility when people aren't nice back, And then this week when I interviewed Guru Ganesha of the Guru Ganesha band, he is living it. He is living joy and success and shininess and harmony and balance in relationships. Like, he's doing it, and he's doing it with fun and with laughter and with music. And he described it in this way that felt so simple and so sweet when he said it. He was talking on the video, and he's got these big, beautiful arm movements, and he said, I have my soul space over here where I'm in alignment. I know who I am. I'm in flow, and I'm living my brilliance. I'm using my own words, but that's how he described it in my interpretation. He said, and then there's the ego space over here, where we live from fear and we are worried about rejection and lack and not being included and not being loved. And he said, everyone operates from either fear or love. And I've known that. I've studied that. I believe that to be true. But watching him describe it, he had these small arm movements, this little space for where he has his ego and his fear and, the things that make him human. They're down over here in this little space. And then he showed the contrast. He had this big arm movement. He said, this is my soul space over here, and I play with my soul team over here. And it was the first time I got it so clearly. Yes, we're both. Yes, we are both. And the choice of where we spend the majority of our time allows us to claim the experiences that we're going to have in this human walk. So I can claim to be as brilliant and shiny and fun and happy as I want to be and live in that space and still be human and still engage with everyone in the world and still have places where I'll be in fear and ego. But my choice to always be coming back to love allows me to play in that what I feel is happier, more flowing, more aligned playground. And I know it works now because I see him doing it. And I see him creating more and more magical things and having a blast doing it with no limitations. And he said himself, blocks will come up, things will come up that make him cry, and things, like wounds that he's watching on TV about places with trauma and pain. Yes, they touch his heart, they hurt his soul, but he redirects that into more love, into creating more magic, into spreading his message of music and joy and laughter. And self-empowerment, community. And so I feel that for all of us, for myself included. We get to play in the ways that we want to and trust that choosing love is a safe, happy, fulfilling path that will only expand. So I'm headed that way. I'm going on that path because it looks way more fun than other paths or options I have seen before. The other story or illustration that feels very powerful in this moment, we decided to adopt a puppy yesterday. We're fostering, so, my husband wanted us to have the possibility of an out if it doesn't work after a week, and I think that's wise that he did that, but I can't even imagine in this moment how we would let this little puppy go back to the shelter. But it has been an interesting journey, in only 12, 14 hours since we brought him home. We have a cat who is an indoor-outdoor cat that was a stray when she sat on our back porch and eventually moved her way into our house, or maybe we moved into her house. But it's her home. She's been the alpha female here since we moved in. She runs the house. She decides when she wants to go in or out, and we all serve her. And we brought this little big puppy, 10-month-old puppy, about 30 pounds compared to her 10 or 12 pounds. We brought him into the home, and apparently he's already been scraped by a cat, so he is very wisely fearful of her. But they're trying to adjust to each other, or they're cautiously walking around each other and trying to find how they all fit into the space. And it's such, I don't know if I have the best words for it, but it's such a beautiful illustration of relationships and how we're constantly fine-tuning or adjusting our flow, our edges, to accommodate or support those around us. And I thought, as we were wrapping up this month of diving into relationships, it's the most beautiful illustration. So let me see if I can find the right words. When we began the month, we were talking about, relationship with self versus relationship with others. And then, the shaking up that happened with Hurricane Matthew and with the political drama that we've seen all month long with the debates. There's an unearthing of our fears, a rattling of our cages when change happens. And it brings up our fear. And then also it helps us clarify what our soul space is, our soul team, our love expansion. You will always have contrast. So if the fear is coming up, the love is sitting right next to it as an option too. And we've been talking about these ideas of relationship for the last few weeks. And what I was witnessing with this cat and dog that are trying to connect, or no, they're not connecting yet. They're trying to tolerate. They're trying to just get to know in some way the energy of the other. I could see the fear in my cat that she's being replaced, that she's not loved, that her home isn't her home. I'm sure she might still have some feelings of abandonment, like the stray that she was when she came to our house. Her sense of, well, those are my parents and my brother and sister, and now this new animal is getting all this fussing and love, and what about me? And I'm sure we all have matches to that, right? We move into new groups, we join new communities, we bring new members into our families, or we join other families through marriage. It can get really bumpy. We have, children that grow up. My daughter's about to leave for college next year, and, it becomes bumpy again. What is my place? For her, my son teases her, "You're not going to get your room back. We're going to take over your room when you come home from college." We have these constantly shifting relationships in our lives, these communities that are forming and reforming. And so it's going to bring up our fear. And I was watching my cat, back arched and hair on end, hissing. I carried her for the first 10 minutes while the dog was exploring the house and sniffing everything out on a leash. I was holding her really tight, and she was gripping into my arm with her claws and hissing at him. And, he went into her back bedroom area, and she was pissed. But it's part of just getting to know the space and each other. They have to be able to go into all the dark, shadowy areas that the other one doesn't want to look at. And then last night we kept him in a crate in our bedroom and pushed the doors closed so she couldn't come in, and I heard her meowing on the outside, like, "What about me? What about me?" Sometimes when we join new communities or relationships start to shift, we have to create boundaries for the safety of one or the other. And it's a short-term boundary. It's not a forever thing. But I could see last night it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to put up some safety guards that say, "This behavior is not acceptable to me," or "This thing you do is hurtful." And I'm allowed to claim some space or withdraw while I feel into what would feel better to me. So this morning, when I went to meditate, this dog is shaking up everyone's relationship. So my son's routine is different because he has to get up now and help walk the dog and take the dog outside to go to the bathroom and entertain the dog while I'm trying to meditate before we get on the call. And so my son, who is barely awake, comes downstairs while I'm about to meditate, and he says, "Can we just hang out with you?" Which he never does. So I sat down to do my 30-minute Satanama chant, and which means, life, it's birth, life, death, rebirth, Satanama. And so you're just chanting for 30 minutes, this beautiful circle of life energy. And the dog was on a leash downstairs, on one end of the living room, while my son is sitting next to him, and I'm on my cushion playing my music and meditating out loud with the chant. And in comes the cat. The cat climbs on top of the couch on the opposite side from the dog, and the music is still moving through the room, and I was just watching, all of them shifting position. And 20 minutes in, the cat's asleep on one side of the sofa, the dog's asleep on the floor with a blanket next to my son. My son's calm and happy stroking the dog. Everyone was just finding a pause, a moment of rest, of balance. And the space I was holding of love, of being in my soul space, gave us all a breather. So we'll come back, I'm sure, to fear and ego as everyone gets used to each other. But the choice to go into calm, my choice of pulling my energy in and grounding and being settled, feeling myself so in that moment, loving my cat, loving my son, loving my new dog, feeling the harmony that is possible, allowed all of us to shift into a different space. And so I don't believe there are miracle cures that make everything perfect overnight, but I do believe this practice, this safe zone that you've created for yourself by showing up for these calls, the meditation time that you give yourself during the week, the walks where you feel yourself in nature, connected to the forest or connected to the ocean. For me, the hours that I can spend in my bathtub over months, like sitting, being in water, allowing the salts to pull toxicity out. All of these things, they bring you back to harmony. And when you have that harmony with self first, you can you can radiate it out in a million directions, and it will ripple and impact everyone around you. Wow, that was a fast hour. I only had 2 things written down, but it was perfect. All right, go ahead and release anything else that wants to move out through your feet. Hand it over to the earth. Any matches to anything I shared. Allow Source to bring one last big whoosh of energy in through your crown or in through your heart space and just calmly fill you back up. And then I think for today, go ahead and feel the edge to your space. Feel the edge of your energy aura and allow it to have some sort of film or tangible edge to it, so that you can feel what's your space as you bump up against other people today. And then allow yourself to play with that. Let me feel me in me. And notice where others are trying to bump me out of harmony, and then how I allow it or how I just flow and adjust and move with it to create more harmony. Good. And then set your intention. Set your intention of how you navigate your day from here. Good. All right, hands on your heart. Go ahead and close this hour of sacred work that you just carved out for yourself. And feel my love radiating out to you and going with you for the rest of your weekend. So much love to each one of you. Have a beautiful day.